So anyway, on my last video, I said beyond a reasonable doubt. I meant not beyond a reasonable doubt. And I also said a common term called common sense, which it shouldn't be a common term anymore because there's no such thing as common sense anymore. Maybe that was a term that was used back when there was such a thing as common sense. But sense these days is not common. Like, I don't know anybody who has really any sense, and it's definitely not common sense when basically nobody has it. It's very uncommon to have sense. So anyway, yeah, a couple little corrections there on that last video. Christ came to fulfill the Ten Commandments, and most Christians I think there's a lot of Christians who don't even see it that way, but Christians don't follow Christ really. So and here's an example of Christians not following Christ and Christians proving their ignorance. I don't know, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I don't know, there was a coin, I think it was a Sacagawea coin, or some coin came out that didn't say "In God We Trust" on it, and man, Christians just came unglued. Oh my God, you took "In God We Trust" off the coin, and they raised a stink, and so, they started putting "In God We Trust" back on the coins again. But it's like, if you're really a Christian, or, well, if you would not be a Christian and just follow Christ instead of being a Christian, you wouldn't care what it says on the coin, because to follow Christ, to serve your Heavenly Father, you can't serve the Almighty and serve money. So, it's like, why do you even care? Because you never stop serving money. A lot of Christians just, they go to their job, and, unfortunately, Christian, not Christian, lots of people are probably on Judgment Day, God points a finger at them and says, hey, you such and such, and you're like, I was just doing my job. Yeah, like the judge, I was just doing my job. The lawyer, I was just doing my job. The juror, just doing my job. The warden, just doing my job. The correctional facilities officer, just doing my job. Yeah, it's just like endless. The police officer, just doing my job. All the people in the military, just doing my job. It's like, you never took the time to know the Father. Oops. The gavel comes down. Guilty. You never cared to know the Father. You can't walk around as a police officer and know the Father. There's this thing called a conscience that speaks to you. If you don't have a conscience speaking to you, then you are a heathen. And if you do have a conscience speaking to you, that might be one of the best names for God right there. Forget the word God. Let's just call it conscience. My Heavenly Father, my conscience. Yeah, that. Who doesn't have a conscience, folks? So anyway, I'm digressing again. Yeah, the coin thing. In God we trust. Gone. Well, if you serve money, then you don't serve the Father, so why do you care? And if you serve the Father, then you don't serve money, so why do you care? So yeah, that was just a bunch of Christians proving their ignorance. Like the Christians that got all upset when you took God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, are you pledging allegiance to your Heavenly Father, or are you pledging allegiance to a flag? Because that's an idol image, Christ came to fulfill the Ten Commandments. One of them is no idol images. Well, let's look at it, folks. The flag is an idol image. Hey, Jews over there in Israel, that star, that's an idol image. I've read through the scriptures. There's no Star of David mentioned anywhere. That is the Star of Rothschild. He used Hitler to brand you, and you were branded and brainwashed long before you ever went to that piece of land. And, it's questionable whether that's the promised land, because if you read through your scriptures, you'd read that there won't be a wall, If you're a Christian or you follow Christ, Christ said that not one stone would be laying on the other. But you can go to the Old Testament and find out that there won't be a wall. Yeah, there won't be a wall. No wall. Is that clear? Go look it up. It's embarrassing. It doesn't take anything to embarrass the Catholics with all their idol images and calling someone other than the Father a father. And where's this Mother Mary of God? That's never mentioned in the scriptures, that Mary is the mother of God. And what about this rosary, or all these crucifixions and just disgusting, vulgar you know, yeah, the Catholic Church, they're the most evil, despicable, non-following Christ group of Christians on the planet, you know. I had a conversation with my Heavenly Father. I do this a lot, actually, and I said, hey, you know, would you prefer the Dome of the Rock, um, or the Catholic Church, or the Georgia Guidestones leveled? He's like, oh, I'd rather the Catholic Church be leveled. I'm like, what? Really? I mean, he'd rather the Georgia Guidestones and the Dome of the Rock are fine compared to Vatican City. Yeah, I'm having to warn you guys. I care enough to warn you guys. I don't know if I'd be caught in Vatican City. I think that place is about ready to get crushed by the hand of God. And anybody who really cares to know their Heavenly Father, well, right about now, they wouldn't be living in the mountains, and sure as heck wouldn't be living on the islands. So anybody who actually cares or gives two crap, that has any power and authority over any country or nation, you ought to start ushering in the local island. You know what I mean? Like, everybody needs to do that. We need to get these people off the islands. Does anybody have any clue what's coming? I guess not, you know? We got our heads so far up our mask that we can't, you know, see, you know? Oh yeah, back about that mask thing. It's like, you know, you walk into like a gas station or something and you're like, oh, are they getting held up here? I mean, how's facial recognition even gonna identify anybody with all these masks, you know? Okay, that's some sarcasm anyway, you know? I'm out of time again, folks. Love you.